Hi, in this video I will tell you how to do a nice report in RStudio. It is partially inspired by my students who sent me for a check RMD files. Indeed, if you open RStudio, you have options. You either select for RScript as usual, or you can open RNotebook. And our notebook format by itself is pretty messy. That's why this video. If you open our script new, then the page will be totally empty and you're supposed to know what you do. If you open our notebook, it is already populated with some text and gray area where you can push a button and see the plot appearing. They just try to help you. But overall, the notebook is pretty busy way of writing scripts. You can do it, but you are not supposed to use it as a final work report. Instead, you have to make a few more steps. Suppose you want to prepare a document to your friend explaining him how LM function works in R. Of course, you add extensive annotation to the script. Then you make sure the script works as you want it. You define xy, check y, plot xy, and then of course you wonder, can I draw the line? And the answer is yes, and the easiest way is using LM function. And what LM function is, you can also check. It is linear models with all the details explained, which generates the coefficients for your linear equation, like this. And then you can check the statistics of it and find that nearly 95% of variation explained. And where is the line? Yeah, you plot the dots first, then you ask for a line fitted values, all in red. And if you like, you can do the legend. So with one factor it's a little bit boring, it's always a straight line. Let's add some imaginary factors like a gender and noise and add them to the equation and check the summary. And in this case the fit is much better, nearly 98%. And if you wonder how the line through the dots will be, it's not straight anymore. Why? Because there are more factors and every factor adds some extra value to the fitted result. That's basically the story. How you proceed further? You can copy paste it to your Word document and save all the figures on the way and compose the story as a Word document or presentation document. But the authentic way of doing it in R is open R notebook. There are actually two options. Both of them will create a document you like to see, but we choose a notebook. When you ask for a new one, it's not fully empty. There is some information already added, some is useful. For the title you say explaining LM function. You see around useful command keys combinations, and for instance command option E, it will create new gray space, which is what? Which is executable. So this is the space where you can copy paste your lines like this. And so if you want one more space, you say Ctrl Option I, and then you have another one where you can ask for this one, for instance. And of course you have to execute it. Here you can also ask Y. The output will go into a white space, and when you say plot XY, it will go again into a white on the same page. This area will be dysfunctional in this format. And so gradually, slowly, you copy paste your script into here, or you can open this page and start making your new script right here. Alternatively, you can duplicate my script as it is, and then you rename it as RMD, and then you're back to RStudio and open RMD, and then you have this copy RMD in your RStudio complete, but then it's all in white spaces, and therefore you have to type in your gray areas by literally typing these characters. R. You mark the beginning and the end, and then you will create executable areas, and the rest will be in white left as a comments, so you can choose any way you want. Pay attention that this symbol is not a single quotation, it's another one. The official name is a backtick, and strangely enough, when you push enter, it adds one more symbol. Therefore, it is enough to type it 2 times, then push enter, and the third one will appear as it should. After you separated all the areas on gray and white, gray is executable, white is not, it just comments, you have to run all these gray areas by pushing this button. Why? Because it will print out all the results of these areas and add the plot and do the fit. And what is fit is this linear equation with 2 coefficients, and summary where you see R squared, and then you plot it, and then with a single factor straight line, and then you add more coefficients, and then do the fit and do the summary, and finally the plot. You have this line which is not straight and fits better. So you did all the lines, all the figures. What's next? You go here, you say now I have to knit it into the good looking document. There are 3 options. HTML and Word work nearly all the time. For PDF you might need some extra package. If you're first time here, then you have to know that KNIT itself is also a library which has to be installed. It's a package in CRAN, so the installation is standard. The default KNIT is the top one, HTML, and HTML will appear in front of your screen, which is also the file saved to the same directory as your source RMD file. So one document is ready. Maybe it's not the most convenient format, therefore you would switch to KNIT to PDF. If you run this option for the first time, it will not work because you have to install tiny text, if I remember well. Here is my first try, and then it says no, the short way is tiny text, install tiny text. Okay, copy. Okay, it seems to be installed. Now we try again, and then you have another document where you miss the header, but for the rest it combines your executable lines in gray, and in white it is the result and the comments. Yeah, and this document you can send for sure to your friend. And then if you go to the final option, to the Word, it will also work and print it out into your, let's say, a text editor, which will miss the figures. Why? Because you need Office. So you have to visit your original directory where you had your wiki-lm copy, and then you say, okay, open it with LibreOffice, and then LibreOffice tells you fine, and then again it is a good document with all comments and illustrations included. That's how it works.